Good morning, legends. Hope you are well. And what a very, very interesting day we are having today in Bitcoin. Now, as you know, since early December, we have been following this Barrier Triangle Elliot wave, which is that pink line going diagonally upwards and also the blue line just below the letter B. Now, that triangle is the Barrier Triangle Elliot wave that we have been studying and following a long time now in the crypto bits, and it is still staying true to this day. We actually had a really good bounce off. If I just go to the 15-minute chart, we can see how close we came to touching the bottom of that Barrier Triangle Elliot wave and actually got a bounce off to the upside. Relative strength index is pretty high at the moment, so we would probably expect some sort of retracement back down, probably to round about that 38,700 mark, I suspect, before we consolidate and then move on to some higher prices. Now, the big resistance is, of course, this price here at the 40,500. Now, just going back to the weekly, if we just have a look at that Barrier Triangle Elliot wave, I just want to bring it into a bit more depth and a bit more detail for you. Let's move across to our images. And this is a picture of the Barrier Triangle Elliot wave. So as you can see, we have that very familiar head and shoulder pattern in the middle. And I have labeled them A, B, C, and then we also have D and E. Now, I have been speaking to you since December how the Barrier Triangle Elliot wave looks. So if you just memorize that image and keep your eye on certainly the A, B, and C, because that's what we're going to talk about in a second, and I move back, you can see that we do have that very similar head and shoulder pattern. And there is your A, B, and now we are looking like we are sitting at the C, ready for what looks like some sort of breakout. Not today, not tomorrow, possibly in the next week, couple of months, something like that. We could actually see us trying to get above and hitting that 50k before coming back and creating our next head and shoulder pattern. Now, in relation to today, we have had so far a really good run up to the upside, but there could actually be some bad news happening. You can see that retracement happening right now on the relative strength index and the price creating a big red candle on the 15-minute. So one thing to be aware of, or two things actually, is if we go across to the Forex Factory, we can see in the news that it's 1:15 now, so the ADP non-farm employment file is happening right now. I don't know how that is going to affect the US dollar. If it increases the US dollar price, then obviously Bitcoin will come down. Where at 7 p.m. tonight, we do have the FOMC statement. Now, if that turns out to be negative, then we are going to see some drops downs today for Bitcoin. But 7 p.m. It's an hour before I go live tonight. I go live tonight at 8 p.m. so we can discuss the FOMC statement and have a discussion about the press conference as well, and how it could actually affect Bitcoin. But what's great is that this morning we did have a really good run up, so we've got a buffer zone to protect us if the price does actually come down. So that is your update